Obviously, endorsing Kamala is important for me, for my family.
Why? What are the issues you care about most?
Say what?
What are the issues you care about?
I just know from especially women's rights and thinking about, what's at stake with this election, and understanding like we need to be in a position where women have the right to choose what's right for them. And that's at the top of the list for me. I have amazing women in my life who've, been a huge inspiration to me. But knowing Kamala and having been around her, and I understand she's qualified for this job. She's, I think, representing what it means to be a great leader and being a decent human being in terms of representing our country the right way. So it's an easy choice for me, but to be able to have be in a situation where you can be a part of the DNC, do a video like that, let people know where I feel like, but foster positive conversations, through it all. I think that's what our
Wow, 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 folks. So, Steph Curry, elite athlete, privileged elite American, Christian, comes out and is asked, why? Give us a reason. And I'm going to give a reaction to this video. I just want to let it play in its entirety, folks. It's about a minute long. I just want to let it go uninterrupted. But you heard him. Its biggest reason? Women's rights. Abortion. Right? So babies can be terminated. He's got daughters himself. Does he ever want to be a grandparent? See, it's easy to talk about other people. But when it comes to your own family, I really wonder what the Currys would be thinking in that situation. Would they be willing to have a grandbaby, not born? Is that what they're saying? They profess to be Christian, but there's a lot of Christians, a lot of Catholics out there, down the Democrat side, that basically say, oh, we can divest ourselves for political reasons. Politically, we're for abortion, but personally, we're against it. They want to have it both ways. And if I want to listen to an elite athlete give me his opinions, then he's allowed to have his own opinion, just as we're allowed to have ours. But at least it would be, I would take it much better if they would talk about their values, their political ideologies, their stances on various topics throughout the course of the year, rather than coming out once every few years or months or whatever on a topic. I would just take him a little bit more seriously. All he wants to do right now is put himself in a better situation with the black population and the culture warriors out there on the Democratic, the leftist side, so that he doesn't have to swim upriver and face the, backlash if he came out in support of Trump, let's say. So if that's what he wanted to do and he isn't, then he's a coward. And if he truly is a leftist and a liberal, which he seems like he probably is based on this statement here, okay, fine. But you know what? I'd much rather, listen, Steph, stay in your own basketball lane, pun intended. Don't come into the political lane unless you're going to explain yourself on a whole host of other issues. Because anybody can come out and spew out women's rights, women's rights, women's rights, we're for abortion. Biggest thing that's out there, it's the number one issue, is the termination of babies. Termination of life. That's why we're going with Kamala Harris, because she wants to do that. Give women the right to terminate their babies' lives. That's the most important issue. Anyways, let's get back to my reaction right now.
Obviously, endorsing Kamala is important for me, for my family.
Why? What are the issues you care about most?
Say what?
What are the issues you care about?
I just know from especially women's rights and thinking about, what's at stake with this election.
That's what's at stake. Excuse me? Let's see, what can I think of? What's going to make me more popular with the with black folk? What's going to make me popular with the women? Women's rights, abortion. There we go. Check. I'm all right.
And understanding like we need to be in a position where women have the right to choose what's right for them, and that's at the top of the list for me. I have amazing women in my life who've been a huge inspiration to me.
They're an inspiration to him. His daughters are an inspiration to him. Does he ever want grandkids? What would be his take on if his own daughters wanted to have an abortion? Just wondering. If the choice was to be a grandparents or not grandparents, I'd really like to know about that conversation. That's a question you need to ask. That's a question I would have followed up on. Why not?
But knowing Kamala and having been around her, and I understand she's qualified for this job. She's, I think, representing what it means to.
How do you know she's qualified? With representing what? What? How do you know she's qualified? Did you give us some examples?
Be a great leader and being a decent human being in terms of representing our country the right way. So it's easy.
Being a great leader, representing our country the right way. Dig it, Trump, the way he behaves, the way he talks. Too alpha male for Steph Curry. Because alpha male, he's not an alpha male in this situation. He's a beta male. He's a wuss and a puss. Succumbing because, women's rights, amazing women in my life. Okay, doesn't have the courage to stand up. Has no cojones, at least in the political lane. Might have some cojones in the basketball lane, but no cojones in the political lane.
Easy choice for me, but to be able to have be in a situation where you can be a part of the DNC, do a video like that, let people know where I feel like, but foster positive conversations, through it all. I think that's what our country.
Fostering positive conversations. Is that what this is about? Fostering those positive conversations? Really? I would have more respect for these athletes, these very privileged athletes, black or white or brown or Asian or whatever, Hollywood actors. I would have more respect for them if they came out more with their political views and their ideology and thought about some of the stances that they're taking, rather than, as I said before, just coming out once every so few years on a certain topic and then basically talking down to us as if everybody else has a different opinion. Now, I know he didn't actually come out and say that, but that's what he's intimating, obviously. But I'd like to know, is this the only, is every viewpoint you have? What are your viewpoints on climate crisis? What are your viewpoints on the economy? What are your on immigration? What about the wall? What about crime? Does he have to worry about crime? Of course not. He lives in a gated community, walls up to the wazoo. Doesn't have to worry about that. Doesn't have to worry about the economic. He's making millions of dollars a year, multi-millions of dollars a year. You think the price of bread or the price of eggs or the price of milk affects him? Hell no. But yet, the number one issue for him, women's rights, terminate babies at will. Anyways, folks, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Shake Show. I'm your host. My name is Dr. Nasser. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, like, share, and follow, y'all know what to do. Take a look at our video links above and below. My final thought is always, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.